Well, joining me now is the Conservative MP Michael Fabricant. He initially put his support behind Boris Johnson, but subsequently switched to Penny Mordaunt. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Are you still backing Penny Mordaunt to keep going?
Yes, I want there to be a choice. I mean, I was backing Boris and was bitterly disappointed when he decided not to go ahead. But, you know, I think it's important that the membership do have a say in all this. Otherwise, they're going to feel very excluded. And for that reason, I then nominated Penny in the hope that she'll reach that 100, though I fully accept that I believe Rishi now has over 50% of the parliamentary party backing him, and that's important.
Who has the most important voice in terms of representing what the wider public would want, and also in terms of delivering party unity? Because we know that Rishi Sunak is currently far ahead of Penny Mordaunt in terms of support within his party. So potentially, if it were to go to a vote of the wider political party and Penny Mordaunt won that, she would be taking the leadership of the party, becoming Prime Minister without the support of her own politicians.
Well, whoever we get as leader, and I think it is going to be Rishi, but whoever we get as leader, we've got to unite behind. I mean, the last 3 months of turmoil has been unacceptable to the country and unacceptable, I think, to the parliamentary and general membership of the party. It's just that I feel that it's very, very important that the membership have their say. And yes, I agree, there is a sort of contradiction in this, but to exclude the membership of the party is fundamentally wrong. You know, I came up in the Conservative Party through leaflet dropping, through knocking on doors. I know what it's like to be an ordinary member of the Conservative Party. And I think to exclude them from having a say is profoundly wrong.
What do you think, though, about what happened last time and the fact that the membership chose Liz Truss against Rishi Sunak, who was the candidate that the Tory MPs were backing? Do you think they got it right that time?
Well, it turned out, didn't it, that they most certainly did not. But I would say that was over one issue and one issue only. And that is that Liz was, how can I put it? Several people advised Liz that it might be wrong to have Kwasi Kwarteng as Chancellor of the Exchequer. And she didn't accept that advice. And I think everything flowed from that. If it hadn't been for the mini budget, I'm sure she would now have been still Prime Minister and getting on with the job. But yeah, these things happen. But, you know, who knows? You know, the parliamentary party might well have supported Liz Truss. So we can't make those sort of assumptions.
In terms of where the parliamentary party is, I mean, we know that Penny Mordaunt's team are currently saying that she has at least 90 MPs backing her. That's not enough. Obviously, she'd need 100. The BBC can only verify 27 who have confirmed to the BBC that they're supporting her. And one of her key backers, George Freeman, has said that it is time, while he supports her and he highly respects her, it is time for her now to row back in behind Rishi Sunak for the good of the party and unity going forward. If that happens, how would you feel?
Well, as I've said, I think it's important, actually, that people do give the opportunity for there to be a ballot. Yeah, we've had terrible turmoil for the last 3 months. Actually, a disgrace, if I'm honest with you. But, you know, another 4 days of indecision, if you like, about who will be the next Prime Minister, because we'll announce it on Friday, because the ballot will be done by then if it does go to the members, I think is worth it for the sake of that sort of democracy within the party. But look, I hold my hands up. I'm not always backing the person who becomes leader. I know that. I backed Ken Clarke in 1997 because I thought he would have been best at the time, but William Hague got it. I then backed Michael Portillo, and then someone else got it. But then you see, I really had a career before I was an MP, and I'm not desperately ambitious to be on the front bench. And I think some of the points that some people are making are because they're very, very ambitious. Having been in government and having to resign over HS2, I have no desire to return. What I want to see is what's best for this country, and then what's best for this party. And I think for the party to be in a strong position, and membership does need to have a say. So I'm hoping, and I'm not involved in Penny Mordaunt's team. As I said, changed the nomination when Boris dropped out. I changed the nomination to Penny, but I'm not involved in her team. You say she's got 27, but it does turn out, for example, that we know absolutely now, by the way, because it's been confirmed by the 1922, that Boris Johnson had 102. But because of the editorial standards, the high editorial standards, I hasten to add, of BBC News journalism, you always take the conservative, small c side, in the way you do your measurements. So I think you had him at about 56 when it did turn out to be 102, because that was confirmed.
Okay,
That's
so,
no
yeah,
criticism.
I mean, it's that.
Yeah, I mean, it's no criticism of
absolutely
the BBC.
none taken, none taken. So as you say,
So all
there's
I'm
a
saying-
disparity between what we can confirm and what the public number is. Michael
Exactly.
Fabricant, thank you very much. And there isn't long to wait, 36 minutes until we do find out the final figures.